Hey everyone, it's Kathy and welcome back here in my YouTube channel and here in my craft room. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today, instead of using something out of our new mini catalog, which y'all can't purchase right now, I thought I would pull something from our annual catalog, and this is going to be letting the paper do all of the work. Now you can very easily use scraps for this, but if you want some color coordination where your pieces are all going to be the same, I would suggest to cut up some 6x6 paper packs, and that's what I did. Here is one of the cards that I did, and this is done in that herringbone pattern, and I thought this card was so pretty. I worked on it earlier today, which would have been yesterday, and I really like this pattern going this way. Now you've probably seen some of them done with wider strips that look like this, and this was another one that I played with, but I really liked using the 1/4 inch strips rather than the 1/2 inch strips, and I liked following a pattern, and I'm going to show you how I did that in this video. So I want to show you where the papers are that I'm going to use tonight. They're on page 130 and 131 in our annual catalog, and one of the packs is the Glorious Gingham, and that's right down here on the bottom of page 130, and over at the top of 131 is the Ink Botanicals. Both of these papers are gorgeous. Of course, you could use any designer series paper that you like and get a beautiful effect, because it's not so much the papers as it is the color coordination, and you'll see that as we go along. So what I want to do first is I want to bring out my trimmer, and I pulled out these three. You're going to need three designs. So I pulled out these three designs for my one card, and I pulled out these three colors from my gorgeous Glorious Gingham. And you can see when you turn them over, you have that larger plaid and you have more of the gingham on this side. But you can use either or. I think I want to go with this larger. I don't know, it's just something about this I think will be really pretty on the card. But we're going to start out with this Ink Botanicals. And what I'm going to do is grab my trimmer, and we're just going to cut 1/4 inch strips off of this paper. So just line it up, and I'm doing all my lining to the right hand side of my trimmer right there. I'm going to get that score blade out of my way because I'm going to cut each time pushing up, because I like to push up on my my blade whenever I'm cutting strips of paper, especially because you want to make sure that these are perfectly straight, and pushing up keeps that paper up here against this top lip, and it ensures that we're going to get a good straight cut every time. So you're going to need about 9 of each of your pattern, 9 1/4 inch strips. So I've got 3, so we need 6 more. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that will give us our 9 strips, because I already had 3 cut, plus the 6 we just cut. That gives us our 9. So, and you can notice there's a pattern on the back side too, so if you like that, you could use that, or you can switch it up however you like. I'm going to use the floral side because I just like the looks of that floral. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause everybody right here, and I'm going to cut these other 2 pieces into 9 1/4 inch strips, and then we'll get right back together. So as you can see, I have all 3 of my colors, 9 of each of these, and they are 1/4 inch, and of course that paper was 6x6, so these are 6 inches long. You're gonna, if you're gonna do something larger than what I'm gonna work off of, and I'm working off of a 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece of cardstock, and this is what we're gonna glue everything on. And I want to show you, I find it easier to make these if I use my adhesive sheets, and I think I laid those up here. These are the Stampin' Up! Adhesive sheets, and these are so great if you wanted to die cut something that's intricate and you don't have the space to put down a lot of glue. These work perfect because they actually make your paper like a sticker, and that comes in so handy. They're very easy to use because all you're going to do is peel off or peel up this backer sheet, and all you want to do is fold it down in one section, and then you want to lay this cardstock down. Pull this down a little bit further than you need it, something like that, and then bring this over to the corner edge. What this is going to do, it's going to make your piece of cardstock have glue all over it. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull up the next adhesive piece and peel it back just like that. Pull that down. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here. And fold that back. Now I'm going to fold this all back on top of my card. And then I'm going to trim around it. I'm going to use my larger scissors. These are Teflon coated. And these are on my affiliate link, so if you are interested in these scissors, they're great because they have a Teflon coating on them, and they make cutting things like this a breeze. And you have that nice long blade that's great for long cuts like this. So I'm just going to cut straight down that cardstock, just like that, and you'll see that this piece releases completely. That's just trash. This last little piece is still a piece of adhesive. So what you want to do is make sure that that comes off like so. Got a little bit of adhesive back there that I didn't really want. That's okay. We'll use our silicone craft sheet under it so we don't get adhesive all over everything. And we can throw that piece away. And now what we're going to do is we're going to lay this down and we're going to lift this backer sheet. And you want to rub this down to make sure that, I really like to take a bone folder and just really crease over it. That just assures that that adhesive is getting stuck to the back of your piece of cardstock really well. And then you're just going to peel that back like that. And this piece is going to be super sticky. I don't know if you can see the shine, but that's all adhesive. And it looks like there's no adhesive right here, but it is. It's sticky all over. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start with my first color. And what you're going to want to do, oops, didn't want to do that. What I want to do is I want to bring this piece from this corner up to this top, just like that, and press it down. Then I want to come in with my next color, which is going to be the lighter shade. No, we're not doing that. We're going to come back in with another piece of this. And this you want to bring sections. You want to section it off so you have a section here and a section here. So then just bring that down just like that and tack it down. And then grab another one the same color and bring it down maybe about here. No rhyme or reason of how you do this, just as long as you have these 1, 2, 3, 4 different sections. So it's going to look something like that. And for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and trim this one off like that. And I'm going to turn it, and I'm trying to hold it on the cardstock itself, not the sticky part. Or not the cardstock, but the designer series paper. And we're going to cut that one off. So now we have our 4 areas sectioned off. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work within these sections with our different colors. So we've done our green, or our Lost Lagoon. So I want to come in next with this lighter piece. And what I want to do is I want to put this down as close up to the top of that. And this is where you're going to need to really have your patience packed, because it's not hard, but you just want to make sure that you get those pieces in there just like that. And I'm going to trim that off nice and straight, and then I'm going to bring this piece in and butt it up just like that. And glue that down like so. Get that in really well. Then we're going to take another piece and we're going to do the same thing all the way around. So you're going to need a longer piece here, and that's okay. It's part of the pattern. So bring that piece over and run it down just like that. Grab another piece and put it here, like so. And let's go ahead and trim this one. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to trim them nice and straight so I have a straight edge on it. But you know, if you don't have a straight edge, it's not a problem because you can use the other side that does have the straight edge. So now we're going to take a piece here and run it all the way down to that side. And let's go ahead and cut this one because I think this one will fit. So I'm just going to use my scissors and I'm going to cut straight across. And I'm going to bring this piece over and put it down right here. So what you're doing, you're building these like L shapes all along your edges. So we've got here and here and here done. Now we need to do this last section. And let's put that color down right there. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut this one off right about there. And then I'm going to tack that down, make sure it's glued down good. And you can see how well the adhesive sheets work for doing this. Now you can use your, you could use liquid glue. It's a little messier. Or you could use your Stampin' Seal. Or you could use your tear and tape. Whatever is your preference of your adhesive, by all means use what works best for you. So now we've got all of those little L's down. Now we're going to start back over right here and we're going to use that next color. So we're going to put this one down right here. And you have to trust the process. Don't second guess yourself when you start putting these down. Just go back and double check and make sure you have one of each color going in all of the 4 directions. So I'm going to cut that one off there, and then this other piece is going to go right here, just like that. And then we're going to grab another one for right here. And that one's going to go there. And I'm going to snip it. And then we're going to turn it, and this one's going to go right here. And then we're going to turn our piece again, and now we're going to be working in this area. And don't feel bad if you have to follow along with the video. When I first was trying to get this pattern to go, I had to work it over and over, and I finally got it, and then I was so happy when it all came together. So, go back and rewatch the video and stop and start it as you're doing each area so that you make sure you get it right. That's always my suggestion anytime you're making something that's a little different than anything you've made before. It's no shame in going back and watching a video. So just take your time with it and enjoy the process. So this one is going to go right here, I think. Yeah, this is our last little area. Is that going to fit? No, that's not going to fit that way, but I think it will fit this way. Yep. So we'll grab another one of our longer pieces and put it right here. And just make sure you're always going up to that next piece. Your goal here is not to have any white cardstock showing underneath. So once you get that there, we're going to snip that. Now we're going to just start over again with our blues. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to put this one here. And that piece don't look like it's quite straight, so I'm just going to snip it a little bit to get a nice straight edge on it. Put that one down like that, and then this one like this. And then we're going to do one like this. And one like this. And let's go ahead and snip that one. And then we can come over to this side, because we haven't put blue on this side, or the green. Lost Lagoon is such a pretty color. And let's put that down right there. And let's grab another one. And this one's going to go, I'm going to actually snip this one. And then put that right there. Just like that. And then we're going to turn it, and we've got this section right here to do. So let's go up and snip. And then right here. And so we're done with that color. So now it's time to repeat our floral. So I'm going to come back, and starting right here, I'm going to go right here. And snip. See, it's so sticky. If you touch that with your hand, it's definitely going to grab you and kind of want to hang on. But that's okay. Look how pretty that is. I love this pattern. Alright, so now we're going to come right here. And then we're going to grab one more piece to go right here, just like that. And I'm going to snip this one. And then we're going to come over here, and let's do this one up like this. These are so much fun to put together, and your pattern, depending on what paper you use, always looks different. So that's what makes these so much fun. And the way you lay your paper out can make a difference too. I just love this. I think it's so pretty. Alright, we need another piece of this. So I'm going to cut that off just like that. And then I'm going to come over to this side. And snip. And I think I'm going to need to straighten that edge up just a hair. And then we're going to bring this one right here, just like that. So now we're going to go back with our coral color, because the coral, the Calypso coral comes next. So we're going to start out right here. And it makes no difference where you start. I'm just kind of working it all the way around as I go. So I'm going to snip that right about there. And then lay it down this way. Like so. And then we're going to come over to this side and tuck this one in this little corner right here. Now as you go, you're going to find that your little places will get smaller and smaller to where you're barely going to need a piece in there. But you want to make sure you're covering all of the white. So we're going to snip that right there. And then we're going to bring this piece like that. And give it a snip. And now we're going to come right here. And I'm going to snip it again right there. And then put this one right there. And now we have these tiny little pieces. Now this one's going to take a little bit larger piece. So we're going to go back in with the with this color here. And I'm going to grab my paper snips because I'm getting down to little tiny places that will be easier to snip with these than my shears. So I'm going to snip that there. Oh, I cut it too short. Okay, let's see if we can pull that up. Not a big deal. You know, we've got some other little places that, well, that's going to need, this is a place that's going to need it. This is a place that's going to need it. So we can very easily fill that in just by tucking that right there. You want to make sure it's up against there as best as possible. Let's cut this off. And let's see if we can get a piece right there. And then we're back around to this, and we're going to use a whole piece to go in like this and snip it. And then down like this. And snip. And then what's the color after that? It's going to be another piece of the floral. And that's going to go here. And we got one more place right there, which is going to be the coral. So that's going to go right there. Now we're ready to turn this all over and trim everything down. So I'm going to use my long shears, and I'm just going to go right alongside the cardstock. Just like that. And yeah, some of the little pieces will probably stick, but they will release off of these scissors. This is the best thing about these particular shears. Nothing sticks to them. Okay, and then we're just going to go up this last side and trim those out. And then we're going to move all of this little tiny pieces. I'm going to keep my larger ones because we might want to make another one like this. I'm just going to take this. I got a piece up here on my computer as well. So I'm going to dump all of this in the trash as best I can. It wanted to take off flying. I I guess it had a little bit of static in it, and it decided it wanted to fly everywhere. But that's okay, we got it. So now the reveal. Look how beautiful that piece is. Isn't that, that's just gorgeous. So now I want to decide what color do I want to put this on. And I'm thinking I want to pull a Lost Lagoon and a Calypso Coral. So let's see what I have in my scrap bin. Okay, I'm good with the Lost Lagoon. Now let's get a Calypso Coral, and I have to pull one because I didn't have any in my scraps. Not a piece big enough. So here is our Calypso Coral and that. And I'm wondering, I think I want to do my matte in this color and my card base out of the Calypso Coral. I think that's what I want to do. Decisions. Yeah, we're going to go with that. So let's bring our trimmer back in, and I'm going to trim this down to 5.5 on the 11-inch side. And then this piece, I need it to be 4 by 5.25. So let's do 4. And then turn it and cut it at 5 1/4. Alright, so this will go on here. And then we are going to bring up our scoring tool. And we are going to score this on the 8.5-inch side at 4 1/4. Just like that. I'm going to turn it over and fold it over into my corner. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and just fold that up just like that. Now we have a beautiful card base of Calypso Coral. We have that beautiful Lost Lagoon. And is that not stunning? Now I do want to grab a scrap of Very Vanilla. There's a piece of Very Vanilla, and I want to decide if I want Calypso Coral or Lost Lagoon behind this. And I think I'm going to do this one a little bit different, and I'm going to grab my Nested Essentials. These dies are absolutely gorgeous, and they can make a statement on a card because they do nest. And anytime you have nested dies, you have the opportunity of putting your dies one on top of the other in a different color. So I'm going to do this one, but I want to find out what stamp I'm going to use. And I'm going to go to my go-to greetings. Y'all know that this is a stamp set that I turn to so often because it is a beautiful stamp set, has beautiful sentiments, and I want to see if this happy birthday will fit. Nope, that won't quite fit. So let's see, what about another thank you card? That will definitely work in there, and I think it'll be pretty. So let's just do another thank you card. We always need thank you cards. I know I do. So I am going to stamp this, and then I'm going to cut it out. So let's see, I think we can do it this way. So I'm going to do my thank you right here. And to do this particular one, I think I'm going to stamp it in my VersaFine. No, I want to do it in the color. So I'm going to do it in the Lost Lagoon. So let's grab our Lost Lagoon. I think that'll be pretty on that very vanilla. So we're going to ink that up. And then stamp it down. There we go. So then I'm going to take my Nested Essential and I'm going to place that down right about there, and I'm going to use one of my little post-it flags to hold this in place. And I want to run this through my die cut machine, but I'm going to cut this off like this. And let's put this ink pad up before I put my fingers in it and make a mess. The other thing I want to do before I go any further, I didn't do it with the other card, but I want to run this through an embossing folder. Sorry, I've had a frog in my throat all day. So I'm going to find a pretty this is new. I wasn't going to show new stuff, but I love this. I think it'll be pretty on this. It's called Distress Tile 3D. This is going to be new in our mini catalog that will premiere on September the 6th. So I think I'm going to put this in like that. That definitely has sticky on it. Let me get my little Gunk eraser and see if I can get that off. I don't want that glue to be on my embossing folder, so I figure I better clean that up now. There we go. I always call that my Gunk eraser because it gets all the gunk off. Alright, so I'm going to open this back up, and I'm going to use that registration line right across there and put this down, something like that, close it up. And we're going to run that through. And I'm going to bring up my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I also want to, this will actually cut across this, so that's good. I'm going to snip across this as well. And I'm going to get another one of my little post-it flags just to hold that in place. Now we're ready to do some embossing and some die cutting. So I'm going to bring this up, and this is my big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to die cut first. So to die cut, I need my number 1 plate, my number 2 plate, I need a cut plate, and then a cover cut plate. So I'm going to put this down about like that, maybe this one about like that, and make sure we can get those both to run through, and I think they will. Put my cover plate over, and let's just crank it through. Just like that. So now the only thing I need for my embossing is I need my number 1 plate, my embossing folder with my cardstock in it, feeding in this direction. This is a 3D embossing folder, so for that you're going to need your number 4 specialty plate. So we'll put that over top of that and then crank this through. So we are done with the die cut machine now, so let's get all of our plates back together. I'm going to lay these 2 pieces right over here. Everything back together and put away. let's bring everything back out. We have our 2 die cuts and we have our embossed piece. And look how gorgeous that is. I don't know if you can see the detail on it, but it is stunning. Love it, love it, love it. This is the back side of that. So if you were doing it on solid cardstock, you see it looks distressed, where it looks like it's hit in some places and not in others. And that's the beauty of it. Distressed tile. I love that one. So now let's bring our cardstocks back over. And I'm going to go ahead and peel these off. And these are beautifully stitched. See how gorgeous they are? And when you can pair them with something like this, let's move that up there, they nest in with each other so beautifully. So you have a beautiful piece like that to go on the front of your card. I love it. I think it's gorgeous. So now we need to decide if we want our card to be landscape or portrait. Now we can go like this and have a portrait card. Or we can turn it like this and have a landscape card. I like these as a landscape. For some reason, I think they just look prettier. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this piece, our stamped piece. And I'm going to put one there, one right there, one there, and then one on the other end. And let's pull those off. Now these nested essential dies are in our annual catalog, so you could purchase those anytime. The only thing that I used in tonight's video or today's video that you can't purchase until September is this distress tile. If you see a yellow sticker on anything I use, that means it's in the mini catalog, and a blue sticker like this means that it's in the annual catalog. That's how I keep up with what is current and what is brand new, and it just helps me keep everything straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal, and I'm just going to put a line all the way around the outside, and maybe just a little piece in the middle. And I think I'm going to set this down something like that. Then I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to go along the edges again. And then this is going to be ready to go onto our cardstock, like so, like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up, edge to edge, top to bottom. When I feel like that's about where it needs to be, I'm going to let it go. I can see it needs to come over a little bit. And that looks perfect. Or as perfect as we do. Now here's our little piece that's ready to go down. Now I want to look in here at my ribbons and see if I have anything that will coordinate with this. I do have some Moss Lagoon. So this might be pretty. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bow. And I just want it to be a simple little bow, so I'm not going to do anything complex. I'm just going to make a loop, wrap it over, pull it through the other side. Something like, oops. And I'm going to get those loops down small so that when I pull it, it should be about perfect, or the size that I want it. So I'm going to cut my tails here and here. And that's a perfect little bow to go right there at the bottom or up here at the top. So I am going to straighten that knot up just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to grab a glue dot, but I want to put this down, and I think I want to pop it up with a little bit of dimensionals. So I'm going to grab my dimensionals, and you know what I might do? No, I'm just going to use dimensionals across the middle. So I'm going to put one right there, and one up here in the top, one right there, and one right there. And now I'm going to set this right in the middle. I might go up just a tiny bit since I want to put that bow at the bottom. I don't like that. Oh, so pretty. And then we're going to set that bow down. And to put this bow on, I'm going to use a glue dot. I love my glue dots for this sort of thing. So I'm going to set that. There's my glue dot right there. I know you probably can't see it, but I'm going to lay my knot of my bow right into the glue dot and pick it up. And now I have the sticky on the back of my bow. So now I can just stick this down right there. And the other thing I want to do is I would love to put some gems on this. So I need to decide what gems, and I think I'm going to go with these because this has got a beautiful the Lost Lagoon. It's close enough that it will work, so I'm going to use those. I think those are so pretty, and these are called the Glossy Dot Assortment. So I'm going to use the bigger ones. I'm going to put one right there. And one right there. And now all we need to do for the inside is maybe a piece of very vanilla. And I'm going to have to grab another piece because I only got a piece big enough for my die cutting, and this was all was left of that, so that's not big enough. So let's grab another piece. And this one is bigger than we need it to be, but that's perfectly fine. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna get our trimmer out and we're gonna trim that down. So I know for the inside I need it to be 4 inches this way and 5 1/4 the other direction. So there is my 4. And there is my 5 1/4. And y'all know that I don't like to glue down my inside pieces until I get ready to send the card. So what I usually do is I'll go ahead and put a piece in it, but I don't glue it because I like to have the ability to stamp it out here or write my message on it. That way, if I mess up, I can cut another piece of cardstock without messing up my entire card. So this is our card, and I was going to do the gingham too, but maybe I'll do that one and post it on the blog. It will be done the same way as this one, but I might use some different nesting dies or dies across here. So let me know in the comments what you think about this card, and if this is one that you would like to make. I think it turned out beautiful, as well as this one. They're both very different. One is very bright and one is more muted, but they're absolutely the same card. This one looks smaller, and you know why? it's laying on a black mat. Let me lay these on a piece of white cardstock and you'll see what I'm talking about. My black cardstock always gets lost on my black mat. But if I had a white mat, my white would get lost on it. So you can see there the cards are identical as far as size goes. A while ago it made this one look very small, but it's not. So this is 2 cards that were made the same way. I used a different sentiment and a different label on this one than I did this one. This one's more muted. This one is kind of out there and in your face. I love them both. I think they're gorgeous. This one I put the ribbon under. This one I tied a bow. So these are just ways that you can be creative with your card making and make it your own. So leave me a comment and let me know which one you like the best. I don't know. I think I like the bright one, but I love this one too. Again, it's like I always say, it's like your children. You're not sure which one you like the best because you love them both. So with that being said, I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. If you saw any of the products that you would like to purchase in my video today, all of my Stampin' Up! Products can be found in my Stampin' Up! Store. There's a link for that below the video, and also on my blog. The PDF tutorial for this with all the cutting dimensions and how much of each item you need will be in the on the blog as well under click here for the PDF tutorial. And for any of my other items that were not Stampin' Up! Products that you saw me use, for example my scissors, these are fantastic scissors, and my blade is nice and it's not sticky at all because all of that adhesive came right off. That I think that was probably the only thing. My bone folder was the only thing I used that wasn't Stampin' Up! So those will be in a link description as well on the PDF tutorial and under this video. And I'd appreciate if you use my links if you're going to shop from Amazon. My Amazon store is always open, and any of the products I use that aren't Stampin' Up! Are listed over there. Thanks so much again. God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Lord and Savior. Jesus paid the price for us, so the least we can do is pay it back to Him with our honor and our praise and our glory and our life. So until next time, God bless you and keep you. Bye-bye.